I have some mild diced tomatoes with green chilies. The reason for this is because I went shopping and, live in moderation, eat in moderation, be on a budget, stay on a good budget that works for you. Treat yourself, when you can. And when it's affordable, it's even better. I did not want to pay $4 or $5 for a bottle of V8 or a 6-pack. I don't drink V8 that often or tomato juice, only when I make a drink like this. So it doesn't make sense to buy a whole 6-pack of V8 or a whole thing of, V8 or tomato juice, whatever. So I came up with this. It worked out pretty good for me. So I'm going to do it again and share it with you guys because it's really inexpensive. Once again, this is mild diced tomatoes with green chilies. We're going to blend these up in the blender. This is about a tablespoon and a half of Tapatio. Tapatio just gives it that flavor. I'm also going to add a pinch of Himalayan pink salt, maybe a couple pinches. Some dry Mexican oregano or oregano. Either one will do. I don't know what the difference is. They taste about the same to me. That's just my opinion. And some black pepper. Give this a mix. And what I like to do with my jalapeno is just take the top off right here. Slice it right down the middle. Let me see if I'm on camera. There we go. And make some strips. Saving this for my nachos. Just cut the ends off of the celery. I think I'm just going to leave it like this. We'll see how I put it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut the ends off. Maybe I'll put them in there like really long. Who knows? These carrots were in my carrot bag. They're regular carrots, but these little ones were in there with them. I think I'm going to leave them and just cut the end off. You know what? Let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to cut this little end part off and leave them like that. I think that's cute. Let's make a cutesy michelada. You can make this a mocktail and you can add anything you like to this. Any beverage that is going to go with this mixture. I'm using a light, ultra light, low carb beer. I'm just going to start with some lime. Put it there on the bottom. And put some of my mixture in here. Not too much. You don't need a lot. Now I'm just going to add some of my low carb beer. This is also for stirring your michelada. Now I'm going to take a look at it. Do I want to add any more of the mixture? I don't think I need to. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit more of my brewski. I could see how light it is, so I could go ahead and use a bit more of this. You could add as little or as much as you like. That's good enough for me, so I'm going to leave that like that. Add one of my carrots. Adding a few slices of jalapeno. Just another piece of the celery. And now for my lime. Where do I want to put the lime? I think I'll put it right here. Sprinkle of pepper, and we're good to go. Something to drink, something to snack on. This is an appetizer and snack. Everything all in one. It doesn't get any better than that. Now that we got the first michelada done, let's move on to the nachos. With the prices of the ground beef and stuff, I decided to go with ground chicken. You could do ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey. I'm using a mixture of garlic powder, onion powder, a couple different chili powders, California chili powder, smoked paprika, nothing but goodness. You could use whatever your favorite taco seasoning mix is or make your own. I don't know why I didn't add this to the mix. I'm adding some dry oregano, Himalayan pink salt, and a bit of black pepper. I like to add my salt and pepper separately just so I could adjust it. And if the seasoning is off later on when it's fully cooked, I could just add a bit more. After I break my ground chicken up a bit, I like to add a bit more of my taco season mixture. Now that my ground chicken is broken up a bit and I tossed it around with the seasoning, I'm going to add just a bit of water, but not too much. You could break your chicken up as much as you like and toss it around, but that's good enough for me, so I'm going to cover this and turn it on simmer. The reason why I add a bit of water and simmer it for a bit, because your ground chicken is going to be nice and moist and flavorful, and I'm not looking for any crispiness or anything like that. So this is just going to be nice and tender and full of flavor, and it's done. For the black beans, I rinsed them. These are canned black beans. I did rinse them. I added a bit of water and some Knorr's chicken bouillon, a bit of garlic powder, and just some salt and pepper and onion powder. Gave them a stir, and I'm just letting them cook a bit on simmer because it does tenderize them and add flavor to do it this way. Adding my first layer of corn chips to my plate. I have some sour cream, and instead of just scooping it out of the container and tossing it on my nachos, I like to whip it up a bit. With my first layer, I'm going to add my cheese because the ground beef and the black beans are going to help it melt. Adding my ground chicken, just some of it, not too much, because we're going to do another layer of corn chips. Adding some of those black beans. Second layer of corn chips are going on. A bit more of the ground chicken. Black beans. The rest of my extra sharp cheddar cheese is what I like to use for this. Fresh diced jalapenos. Adding some salsa. Whatever salsa you like to make or whip up or buy, go for it. And now for my dollop of sour cream. A couple of limes on my plate because I do like to squeeze some lime on my nachos. These are so simple to toss together and delicious. Everything I've done is on a budget. It doesn't get any better than that. Try this out. You're going to love it. And I'll see you in my next upload. Woo, that Tapatio spicy. Pausing for a minute for a snack. I shall return. You do not need alcohol beverages to make this. You could just make it as a drink, just like this, and dilute it with whatever you want. That's non-alcoholic. But I'm going to use a Michelob Ultra. They are low-carb beers. If you're not 21, do not be drinking. You're not supposed to. Make a non-alcoholic drink. And the only reason why I'm making this is because I'm having some nachos. It's my day off. This is my cheat or treat night. And yeah,